Hi, and welcome to the S.H.E Gallery show. Thank you for being with us today. My name is Dulce. I am director of S.H.E Gallery, and I'm here with Eliza Delgado, also known as Sobi, our Chicago artist. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me on.
No problem. And you are live on CAN TV. Please remember that you are live and you can stream us at cantv.org/hotline, and you can also call us throughout the segment, and you can also find us on the S.H.E Gallery show website, sharinghisenergygallery.net, and email us. So we have a very special show today. We have Eliza Delgado, a local Chicago artist and entrepreneur of S.H.E Represent. And she's going to talk to us about her story, her roots, her culture, why Chicago is so important. And we also have Henry I was going to call him Delgado too. We also have Henry Gonzalez, also known as Gabe, another Chicago local artist and entrepreneur. We will look forward to sharing his story as well. Thank you for being with us, Eliza.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So just a little quick background on my approach with Eliza. I met her through a local artist, and then I found out what she was doing on Instagram. I started following her. And what she does is she captures these stories from real local people, and she has her her business, and she captures their stories, and that's what attracted me to her. That they were very humbling and they were very true. So can you talk to us a little bit more about your artist background? Who Sobi is?
Sabi actually comes from my graffiti name, and I'm also a painter and a artist of several different mediums. But the S.H.E Represent thing has developed from me living in Chicago and basically just like my life and everything that's happened in all the communities that I've started in, and a lot of that has developed from all of the different neighborhoods I've lived in.
What neighborhood did you grow up in?
I grew up in Bucktown, but my family originally started in West Pullman. So there's a wide range of where we've all been in the city, and that's a big part of the influence with my business as well. So from West Pullman to what used to be considered Haymarket is now considered West Loop. And then on to Bucktown, and then on to Humboldt Park and West Humboldt Park. I'm currently in West Humboldt Park. So, wow. But yeah, so basically, like, a lot of my influence kind of started in Bucktown. I think when I was a kid, my parents invested in a building that was in demolition court there. They got it for close to pennies, basically, and it was like a shell of a property. And my dad was in construction, and he basically came home to my mom one day and said, "Hi, honey, I got this house." And the two of them together just went at it, and they tackled this massive project. And that community at that time, a lot of people don't realize it, but was totally different than it is today. It was, there were tons of gang wars going on at the time. There were also a lot of families there that were kind of taking care of each other in the midst of it all. And just, the block itself was just different in the way that people actually had like goats and chickens on it. So just to give you an idea of how different it was, it just really shows the changes in the city. And I'm trying to capture that in all of the stories that I'm telling about my life, and really trying to bring that out of other people as well, and getting them to tell theirs, and yeah.
Okay. So that was a little bit about her background. And now she started this entrepreneurship completely inspired by the city, for the city. So here it is. This is the infamous. Can you please tell us why this, I don't know what to call it now. Is it like a momentum now? Like this, why this represents Chicago to you and how it became your logo for your brand?
Well, that one's actually that spot that's on wood.
Okay, where's
There's another one.
there is. So you can talk to us a little bit about how that came about?
Sure. It was actually my design is based
Here we
off
go.
of, yes, that's it. It's the intersection of Milwaukee and Chicago Avenue. And I basically just up on it driving home from work one day. I saw this like immaculate silhouette against the sky, and had to pull over and document it. And from there, I'm always sketching and drawing and painting and stuff. And at the same time, I was also teaching myself design, graphic design. So I decided to draw it in Illustrator. And while that was happening, I ended up gaining an audience from it. And
She's an amazing artist.
thank you. And lots of people started to encourage me to do something else with it instead of just, have it be another thing to add to the portfolio, which is really cool. So I ended up doing that. And I really didn't want it to be just this image that I was printing on things or just this logo. I wanted to do something a little bit more with it because I have such a passion for Chicago and my family is so deep rooted here. And because I wanted to bring the life of other people into it as well. So I was trying to, do some type of play off words too and see what I could do. And that's when represent came into the picture. And what would be more perfect than I represent, S.H.E represent. And in addition to that, when I started to photograph people, I was asking questions like just about their background or about their history in Chicago, or even, it's not just people that are natives to the city, but also people that have come to Chicago from other places and decided they really love it here that I like to photograph and document too. And I asked some questions about what they love here or experiences they've had here, good, bad, funny, anything. And that's, I guess, what developed into all these stories. And I just really started to enjoy that.
So she's capturing Chicago history and she's doing it well. Please visit our website and learn more about Liza Delgado and S.H.E Represent. You can visit our website and from there you can link directly to Liza Delgado and follow her. Please keep following her because she's got a lot more to offer than these stories. She will be working on capturing everybody's stories and eventually publishing. And if you're interested to collaborate, please hook her up there as well. Thank you for being with us again, Eliza. Thank you. One of the other Chicago artists that Eliza has featured is Henry. I keep wanting to say Delgado too. I'm so sorry. Is Henry Gonzalez, also known as Gape. That is his graffiti name artist, and we will have him on now. Thank you. Okay, so now here we have S.H.E Represent O. Henry Chicago Apparel. And we are going to... Okay. Thank you for being with us, Henry. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
So Henry is an artist and an old friend that I've known for a very long time. And if you follow S.H.E Gallery, you've known that he's also been one of the first artists that we've had. He was part of Paveway, and then he's been supporting throughout and was just a part of Solar System that just recently happened in December of the last year. So thank you so much for all of your support. And Henry has been a Chicago local artist that's given to the community and taken back from the community and continues to do so as well. Henry also went to school as a graphic design artist and decided that his passion for art meant a little bit more and decided to take on his art role and do with a lifetime with it. So he became an entrepreneur as well. So Henry, can you please talk to us a little bit more about you as an artist?
Sure. I've been an artist for about 25. Well, I've been an artist all my life, but I actually became a graffiti artist around 25 to 26 years ago. And from there, I've evolved into, I guess you could say, sort of a commercial artist to do murals and things like that. And I made it a living. That's
How
where I'm
does
at
one
with it now.
become an artist?
I don't know. I guess you gotta like drawing, like creating.
So something that's in us since we were little and then you just kept developing it,
Yeah,
became an
yeah,
artist.
definitely keep evolving with it.
Okay. And what was so special about graffiti art? What was it about the city of Chicago that led you to practice the graffiti art form?
Well, for me as a kid, graffiti was all around me. Everywhere I went, everywhere I played, it was there. Whether it was gang graffiti at the time, and then slowly but surely the graffiti, which is now known as graffiti art, started to evolve around me, and that piqued my interest as well. And then movies like Breaking and Beach Street came out, and they kind of focused a little bit more on that, and it poked my curiosity further. And from there, I just kind of jumped on and kept doing it.
So did you ever actually go to art school?
No, I didn't.
Completely self-taught.
For the most part, yeah.
Interesting. Now let's show a little bit more of your work. And so Deep has become an artist, an individual artist, and he's also collaborated and worked with other artists and had also formed kind of a collective, if you would call it, and that was Soul School Studios. Can you please talk to us a little bit about the birth of Soul School Studios, what you did with that, and how it's taken you to your next platform?
Sure. Back in the day, some of the artists I was working with were hustling for studio time, basically. And they were trying to find studio recording artists, and they were trying to find studio time anywhere they could. So that being said, I saw that we needed somewhere where we can record on a regular basis and stop the search or something like that. And so since I had the means to do so, I went ahead and I opened a studio.
So this is now we're talking about music?
Yes, a
Okay.
music studio.
So we moved the art form from painting to music.
And then from there, the Soul School Studios became more of a art and music type of studio as well.
Like what kind of art, or like was this like murals, or were you?
Yeah, mural work, canvas work, all types of tattoos.
You also
as well.
do the tattooing.
Yes.
Okay. So then that was from like 2003, and then it moved into Escape One.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's right. All the artists I was working with all grew up and eventually went on with their lives. Some of them started opening up their own studios. They have their own home studios at home, and they're doing the recording on their own. So they don't really need me as much anymore. They call me from time to time to help them out with some mix downs and things like that.
So you help people get on their way.
Yeah, that's what it always was. It was a place that, for people, giving people an opportunity to get out there and be heard. Since when I was a kid, I would have loved to have something like that.
That's
but I
awesome.
didn't. Yeah.
And are you gonna go back to that ever?
Yes,
You
actually, I just got my studio back up and running like about a couple months ago.
That's awesome.
So I'm hoping to hook up with some artists and see what comes of it.
We'll look forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
So he mentioned that he does other type of art. We have here some of his sample work, probably most recent work. Look at this. This is amazing. What is this, a portrait?
Yeah, that's a portrait of my kids' great grandparents.
What kind of medium is this?
It's acrylic.
Wow. That's amazing. And then we have
My shirt.
the 18th letter word. And he's wearing it right now. What is it with the 18th letter?
Oh, it's a shirt I came out with last year.
So you also make shirts?
No. Well, I started to. Last year I dropped
Okay.
a shirt, and I'm hoping to drop one once a year, and then maybe start a collection that way. But the 18th letter is my tribute to Rakim, the MC, the hip hop artist.
Nice. So
And
music is all in it.
yeah,
Okay.
art and music.
Nice. Now another thing that Henry's done has worked with the community. You've worked with the community in a lot of projects. I know you did some work or you worked with the school.
Yes.
This was part of Solar System. It was pretty amazing. You guys can visit the website and visit the video, and you could be there even though you're not really there anymore. What was I looking for? I'm so sorry.
Okay.
Look at this. So freaking awesome.
I'm glad you like it.
Where is it? He did these Chicago murals, and were these like in the Loop?
Yeah, the Chicago South Loop. It was a job I got. It's funny you bring that up because back in 1995, when the CTA had their graffiti contests, we painted that wall there and we won first place.
Oh, get out of here!
And then, like 20 years later, that
Look at
the
that.
private company that owns that property hired me to do a mural on that same wall or close to that same vicinity. Which before it was just a vacant lot with walls they used for the CTA contest.
Wow, that's quite a
So yeah,
story.
my life came around full circle, kind of in that instance. Cool, I thought.
That is pretty cool. That's very cool. So, so you also worked with schools?
Oh
Did you
yeah,
work with schools
actually,
uh,
as well?
that was one of my crewmates' jobs. Static. He had a job with the Castellanos School in Little Village, and he brought me aboard since I was Spanish speaking, and I was his art assistant for that job. And I
And
got
a
to work
great
with
artist.
I believe it was second and third graders is what they were, and we made some murals that we hung up in the school there, and I believe they're in there somewhere as well.
Nice. And then you do the tattoo work. When did you get into tattooing? How did you get into tattooing?
My two best friends as kids growing up were tattoo artists, and so I always hung out at a tattoo shop. And while I was there, I'd always ask questions and poke around with it and stuff. In 2003, I started tattooing a bit, but then I put it down to start Soul School Studios, the recording studio. And then I picked up my tattoo machine again back in 2010, and since then I've been consistent with it.
So you've been highly influenced from the city altogether.
Yeah. Yep. All the way
Altogether.
since I was a kid, first seeing graffiti on the streets, and then in high school, meeting some of these artists and some of these guys who are now doing some really great work. It's really cool.
That's awesome. So you tapped into tattooing, you tapped into all kinds of arting, and then you have your Gape One. Can you tell us a little bit more about Gape One and what the difference is between that and Soul School? Or
Well,
if there's a difference? Is it just more concentrated
It's
now?
more concentrated on me now again because so all the artists I was working with in Soul School are older now. They have families. Some of them unfortunately don't have time to make music the way they used to. Others, like I said, have their own equipment now and do it on their own time and just.
So to do what you're doing, you have to keep doing it.
Yes.
It's something that you have to just continue to do and not stop.
Yes, definitely.
It's-
Well, I mean, I don't think you want to stop because you want to sometimes push the envelope, see how far you can go with it,
Yeah.
see what you can bend, how you can do things a different way, a quicker way, a new way. So in that sense, I think you'll always keep yourself busy with it.
So one thing that he first said when he first came on, I asked him, how long have you been an artist? He said 25 years. And then he thought about it. He's like, well, I've been an artist all my life. So maybe you've been an artist all your life. And then right now we talked about, well, these people drifted away that way,
Yeah.
but you're still doing what you're doing. So is that still the same as like that kid stays a kid and just keeps doing it? You think that if we were born practicing art, we do art naturally, I think. Like, I think we all do art when we're born, and then we pause. Like, maybe if none of us pause, we would all be artists. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
think we all have an inner artist in us, whether it's drawing or taking pictures or I don't know, whatever it is that tickles your fancy that keeps you creating. I think that's your art gift, and you should try and work with it a little more.
So you worked with different parts of art. You worked with music, you worked with drawing. What is it that gravitates most to you, or why is it that you practice one more than the other, such as music?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. I think I love them both, but with art, I could be the front man, if you will. You know, in music, I was always the music producer. I was more the engineer who recorded it, who mixed it down. But as an artist, there is no that. You got to be the guy doing it.
Oh, okay. Awesome. We have a caller. We ready for some questions?
Henry,
Yeah.
you represent the South Side. Can you elaborate more on your your experience coming up on the Southwest Side, representing coming Chicago legend.
Sure. Grew up on the South Side. That's where I started doing graffiti. Back then, I hooked up with Snag at the time, who is now Snag SB. He's the guy that taught me the ropes with bombing and all that stuff. Hung out with guys like Reek, Too Hype, Saw Crew. Back then, we were the Gap Crew. We were kind of the younger guys looking up to those guys. I looked up to Aerosol, Ice Pack, and all those guys. And they kind of helped form the person who I am today, I guess. So give them a lot of credit and a lot of thanks.
What makes me feel good is that probably a lot of people get into the art form or just even being in it for a brief time and still contributing. I've seen you manage to dodge all the loopholes, still manage to come back to the art form. Very, very gratifying to people who've done it, both dabbled in it or still continue to. So I just want to give my hats out to you. Keep continuing the struggle for us.
Cool, man. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Yep, enjoy.
No problem, man. Thank you. You too.
Thank you, caller. And so it's funny because this caller gives him props, and then he gives the people that paved way for him props. And one of the first shows that S.H.E Gallery had was giving credit to these type of artists. As he mentioned before, graffiti art or street art has become a monster. It's just its own movement now, and it's everywhere. And it's just become so mainstream that we've lost the roots. So something that like Eliza's doing is she's savoring those roots for Chicago through her stories. Something that Henry's doing by being authentic, by being a very authentic artist. He's staying true to himself and his roots. And these are the type of artists that we want to give credit to, the innovators, because that's what they are. That's pretty awesome. So thank you for calling. Thank you guys for being with us today. And please join us again next week. And you can find us and link up with both Gabe and Eliza through the S.H.E Gallery website. Oops. Through the S.H.E Gallery website. SharingHisEnergyGallery.net. You can email us, call us, and thank you for being with us.